Okay, welcome. We are going to go to our web-based version of Sketchup and do some drawing. So I'm going to go to app.sketchup.com and we're going to log into that. So we're going to come to a screen like this and go create a new drawing in millimeters. We don't need Helen, so we're going to delete her. So I select her and press delete. Down our left hand side we are going to pick the rectangle tool, so scroll down. If the last tool you used was, say, the circle, it'll look like a circle. So the little arrow will give us all the little tools we can use. Rectangle, rotation, circle, polygon and text. There may have been a little jump in the video there. Mr. Fisher came in and started bad mouthing his year 8. Okay, anyway, we're going to draw a rectangle to start with. We're going to give it a specific set of dimensions. I'm going to start at the origin, but I could start anywhere on here, and I'm going to draw the top or the bottom surface. So I'm going to click once with my left button and let go. I usually sort of drag it where I'm roughly going, if I want a rectangle going this way or this way, and then I can see down the bottom right hand corner the orientation, because I always forget. So I've got the small one and the long one this way. Let's do it 12, 220, and I haven't clicked in that box. I didn't have to bring the mouse down here and click. I've clicked once. I'll show you. One click. Let go of the mouse button, I drag it in the direction I'm going, have a quick look at those dimensions, see the orientation. So I've got the short side, the long side. So I'm going to type in 12, 220, hit enter. There. Now it looks really small, but it is the dimensions it needs to be. I'm going to then give it the third dimension, because at the moment it's a flat rectangle. It's got no thickness at all. It's actually just nothing. So it needs that third dimension. The button I'm going to use is called push-pull. It's down here. If I click down, there's a bunch of other features I can add, but by default it should be that. But of course, if you've been using this for a while, you may have had the offset, or you may have had the rotation, something like that. Follow me. But we're going to use push-pull, which is in other programs called extrusion, like squeezing out toothpaste. And then we're going to pick the feature or the that we want to push out. So for this, I'm going to pick that face there, and once again I let go of the mouse button, I bring it up to roughly, the direction I want to go, and I'll type in the dimension, 65. If I wanted to reduce that by, say, 10 mils, came in the woodwork room next week and our timber was 55 mil, I would click on that face, come down and type in 10. So I've reduced it by 10 mil. So I know it's 55, but I want it 65, so I'm going to add 10 to it. Okay, that's our first bit of timber. We're going to make 4, but we're going to do it in order. Okay. When we cut our pencil box, it's going to have a groove down here. So I'm going to draw a rectangle on that face. I want to come down about 8 or 10 mil from the end, so what I'm going to do is go click, drag it over to this side, and once again I haven't held the button down or pressed it again, and I can see down on the dimensions it says 220 by 23. I'm going to type in 220, 8. Okay. Then I'm going to come from this corner again, well, not again, for the first time, so down here, click, bring it over here. And when your timber is cut, you're going to give it to me, or maybe I'll do it before you cut it. And we're going to put what we call a groove in there, okay? I'm going to do that with a circular saw. And the circular saw blade is 3.2 millimeters, 1/8. It is what it is. So I'm going to type in 220, 3.2, and that's going to put that little rectangle on a rectangle. Because when I cut with the saw, I'm going to cut in maybe halfway. So have a look at this. I clicked on the face with the push-pull, but instead of bringing it out, I'm going to bring it in. I could type in the size, or I could come up here and maybe pick a point, so halfway. Half of 12 is 6, it says 6 down there, I'm happy with that. I think about 6mm is good for that, for a groove. Might be a bit much, but I can change it later. Maybe I want to make it 4, so I'll click on that face, bring it out, type in 2. So now it's 4mm. Happy with that. Okay, pretty much each one of our pieces is going to be the same. But SketchUp does a funny thing. If I have that piece and I'll make a duplicate of it, so see what I did there? I can pick faces, edges, so a face, an edge, hold down shift, pick multiple, I can drag boxes around things, I can come from the left or right, so if I come from this side, anything that box touches will become selected. If I come from the left, anything that's fully in the box is selected. Okay, so did you see that? As I drag my box around there, that whole rectangle there is selected. I can pick it. So I could take it and bring it out, whatever I wanted to do. Okay. Now what I was going to show you was the funny thing SketchUp does. If I've drawn a part, the beauty of using CAD is that I don't have to keep drawing the same thing over and over again. I can reuse it. Okay. So I'm going to move it. So I pick this little button down here called move. I'm going to drag it by a point. So you're best to drag it by something, not the face like that. I find it's best to drag it by midpoint and end point, something that you're going to attach to another piece. Okay, just like in real life. That's the beauty of this, is that the order we do it in on CAD, on SketchUp, is pretty much the same order we do it in the workshop in reality. But I'll show you what SketchUp does that is a bit, takes a little bit of getting used to, and you have to work with it. If I take that piece, move it, press Control, I'll make a duplicate of it. And say I was to put it up here, see how it locked in, it snapped into place? If I put it there, and then I go to move it, so I'll drag a box all around it, maybe like this, so it's all selected, and then I'm going to move that, it sticks. It's very useful for some things, but not for this. Okay, so I'll show you how you get around that. I'm gonna, well, have a look at this. I could Control Z, or I could have just deleted it. If I had deleted it, I don't have a redo, or not that I know of. Okay, so anyway, let's show you how to work around that problem. I'm going to drag a box around the whole lot. It's all selected, and see it's got that little dotty pattern. I'm going to right click and I'm going to make it a component. Give it a part, I'll call it side. Maybe I'll call it side left. No, that won't make any sense for what we're going to do. Side will do me. Okay, now when I select it, see it has a big blue box around it. Okay, but it's not dotted. Okay. So that means I can't take it and push pull, but that also means that I can take it, move it, and it won't stick. Okay, it'll snap, but it won't stick to other parts. Okay, good. I'm going to move it down here, I'm going to move it over there. So I'm always moving my camera around to find the right part to snap to. Okay, left and right will be identical, that's why I didn't call it left or right. I'm going to right click on this bit and I'm going to flip along the red, probably the red axis. Let's have a look. Flip along red, there we go. Now I have my two parts, and I know that the end, I've done two sides, the end is going to be 100mm. So what I'll do is I'll drag it out. So see this, that's blue. I'll click on this end point, drag it along the red line, and I'm going to type in the distance, 100. Okay, that's going to be part of our box. You guys could draw the other end, it's going to be identical to this but shorter, or you could do this. Control and move, makes a duplicate of it. Now if I go to change that, because that has to fit in there, okay, if I go to change that, I double click on it, and then if I move it, watch what happens to the original two. They all move because they're all the same part. So what I have to do, that's another thing that's very, very useful. But for this, I want to make it a completely new part down here. So I'm going to right click on it while it's selected and go make unique. Okay, now watch what I do. I'm going to click on move and choose rotate. I'm going to rotate it by one of these corners, I think. So click once, drag it up that edge, anywhere along there, click there, and then I'm going to move it slightly and type in what I want, 90 degrees. I'm going to go back to my rotate and change it to move, pick it by that point for this and snap it in there. Now it doesn't fit, so I've made it unique. And double click on my push pull, click once on that face and bring it down. The others didn't change because they're not the same part anymore. So there's the back of my box. Now I could duplicate again, couldn't I? I could take this, bring it over here, right click on it and flip it along probably the green. Oh no, flip along, let's have a look, maybe the red. Oh, red again. Okay, so I flipped it on here and bring it in. But there's a problem with that, isn't there? When my lid slides in and out, it can't go through here. That actually gets made a lot. Year 7 will make their box like this and then go, my lid doesn't fit in. So it's not going to be the same as this. You're going to take it over and you're going to disc sand it down in real life. But in CAD, in SketchUp, we can do this. We can edit it. So I will select it, which it is, right click, make unique, because it's going to be a separate, its own thing, and let's double click on it and let's try push pull. Bang, down to there. I've got a couple of little faces here that I want to get rid of. You know what I could have done? I should have gone that face to this edge. That makes it, you know what, it's getting too confusing for you. I'm going to take it outside for a little bit, along the green axis. I'm going to double click on it again to go into edit mode. Pencil tool this time, that's a new one. I'm going to go from this corner along the red. It goes pink because it's following this edge, but it's perpendicular, red. Okay, then I'm going to take push pull, click once on that part, come all the way to the edge and delete it. I don't want this line, so I'm going to just rub it out. Done. And then move it back into position. That was easier. I won't go and delete the first bit because I was trying to do something else. There we go. That is the frame, the body of our box. Let's put the bottom on. Once you've got it glued up in the workshop, it'll be nailed through here and glued along those edges. That's a butt joint. And we've got our groove nice and straight along here so the lid slides in and out. We're going to put a piece of plywood on. So once again, the plywood's going to be cut to a rectangle. I'm going to make it from here to here. I didn't type anything in, I just clicked on that edge, came over and clicked on that edge. It's not any thickness yet, so I'm going to click once. It's all a rectangle, okay? You just can see the line through it because it's got no thickness. Click once, drag it down. The plywood is 3.2 millimeters thick, 1/8. I know that's not a component yet, so I'm going to triple click on it, right click, make component, and call it base or bottom. Okay, now it's component. You're going to glue that on and you're going to trim it off and sand it. It's going to look pretty schmick. And then for the ease of the exercise, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it all fresh. Rectangle. Watch what I do. It's good practice for you. I'm going to click on this corner, that corner. I've drawn a rectangle in there, and because they're components it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to push pull, click on it, drag it in and drag it to that edge there. See, I clicked on that edge. That should have gone through. I'll move it and have a look in a minute. So I'll take this. Yeah, I think it's right. You know what I should have looked at? This one. Let's have a look. I'll move it out of the way. Yep. So you can see the lid goes all the way to the back. Put this back in position. All this stuff is good practice for you, moving it around and zooming in and out. Now, some of you will want to do your lids flush. Some of you may want to do them overhang. So let's say let's come out 20mm overhang. When you do that, you may, well, you won't may, you will need to take this sharp corner off. So let's put a little square in there. 10 by 10 looks about fine. And I'm going to use this one. Oh, I picked the wrong tool. I've never liked that rotate rectangle. I'm going to use the circle. Click, bring it up here. So we've got the radius of 10mm, diameter of 20. Delete what I don't want, and then push pull through there. SketchUp's trying to make it very easy for you, okay? It's trying to make this whole process very easy. I'm going to draw another rectangle on here, or square I should say. 10 by 10, just typed it in. Select my circle, use that as my axis, delete what I don't want, and push it down till it goes like that, because it's hitting that face, and it's gone. Make that a component, and call it lid. That's exactly what we're doing, okay? So that's what we're going to make to scale in the workshop. I'm going to go save and call it timber box. Oh look, I've drawn it before many times. Okay, give it a new name. Timber box. I'm going to pause it, and then I might come back and quickly show you how to add some materials if this version of SketchUp will do it.